had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. But I'll tell you what, it's almost noon. You better go home and get some dinner. I'll try a couple by myself.
All right, goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Now, just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Why, no, Merson. I collect doorbells. And this particular specimen has an unusual tone quality to it.
Flattery will not avail you. Solicited is a statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. And why haven't you been over to City Hall with your references?
Just missed you, I guess. Oh, Mr. Mayor, your hand. Oh, no.
What?
That spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, it is? Oh, what does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve of a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that America has at last produced an artist who can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Oh, how do I get one of those horns?
Sign right here, Mr. Mayor. And now that'll be $17 import fee.
Yes, sir. Just think I could have been left out of the... I haven't got any son. Why? You unscrupulous fly-by-night, you unflippulous...
George!
I never had a son.
I never said you did.
What do you know?
Well, I'd certainly know if I'd given you a son.
Well, I'm not talking to you.
Who are you talking to?
Him.
Who?
Oh, never mind.
Zanita, call Dr. Clark for your father.
Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know that I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your boy has that same firm chin, those splendid cheek muscles, by George, well, not that he could ever really be great, you understand, but...
Oh, is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. Oh, Clark, oh, Mendez, oh, Klein...
Oh, Professor, we are Irish.
No, really. Well, that clinches its sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your boy was born to play the cornet.
Oh.
Now, that'll be $7 earnest money.
Oh.
Oh. And nothing more due until the first installment payable on opening of band practice. Thank you. Now, of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Why, hello, son. Why, certainly his uniform, and not a penny due till delivery. Which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine, at no cost whatever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the pleasures and excitement of today.
We'll have
Oh, a stripe! Why, certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
Oh, you'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you can get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'd pick you for a hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, harp-playing, Mavornan pinching, terrace hall, minstrel singing Irishman. Big gum and me jabbers, where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it, Gary! Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Why, yes. Gold medal class, ought 5. How to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Of course, Peru. I thought the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night.
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know?
Your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a talk with him. I'm
Do
sure
you
we'd get along
burst in
just
on
great.
everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs? We are not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason why your brother should have something like this.
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. And as to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks! Why, Miss Peru? Oh, I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Now, just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor Hill. About the boy's measurements, I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
Fine. That's all I mean. Now, I must get back to the
Professor,
hotel.
I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really...
Oh, please, don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think about your future? Gary, Indiana, conservation class about 5 now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not in this particular case impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle. If you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I've set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You don't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some very large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of a white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Greiner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does.
Or Ed Gamage and that buggy of his with the removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how.
me after supper.
But I can't. It's Epworth Link night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
Oh, you see, that's just like I said. Last time the lumberyard and now the footbridge. And where will you meet me the time after that? The black hole of Calcutta? Ye gods!
But I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
A music holder for a marching piccolo player. It still has a couple of minor flaws. See, when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, it cuts off the circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, Joe.
Yes, the very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials. I said it the morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife is out dancing till all hours of the night. Instead of being in the home,
But George!
the school board is singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city business. My oldest daughter is boodling around with a wild kid, and my business has fallen off. So far, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I have found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, it's the only thing I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of '05.
Well, if you just read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look any further. It's here on page.
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon just came up from the depot.
A likely story at this time of day. Nonsense. The Wells Fargo Wagon?
It could be the band instrument.
The band instrument, yes. I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday.
In March I got a grenade dog.
And once I got some grapefruit from Tampa.
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a crosscut saw.
The Wells Fargo wagon is a coming now. Is it a prepaid surprise or COG? It could be curtain or a double boiler.
Or it could be.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be.
Something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got some salmon from Seattle last September.
And I expected a rocking chair.
I hope I get my raisins from Fresno. The DAR sent a cannon for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming now. I don't know how I can ever intercede. It could be something someone new is now releasing, or it could be something special just for me.
There you are, Winthrop.
Gee, Victor Schwester.
Men, you'll each receive individual instructions in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
Sister, indivisible stops the saw gold thing on saw. That's never saw the stops the saw gold thing. Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some guy got tooting out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury at the county seat. And now, Miss Marion, about that book.
I'm George, Tempest Fugitive.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I gotta get something from the librarian about that book.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.